Evening, Oasis. Great to have you join us on our Wednesday night slot. And every Wednesday night we spend some time interviewing some of our leaders, our steering team members, our financial guys, so you get to know who our team is, a little bit more about our team. Tonight we've got Dewald and Maritza, and we're going to chat to them a little bit. But before we get started, let's open in prayer. Father, we thank you for this time. We thank you for your word. We thank you for life. We thank you, Father, that we can gather together like this, spend time. And as you spend time, Father, may we get to know you more each and every day of our lives. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, well, Dewald and Maritza, niemand.
That's it.
All right, they've been with us now, Dewald mentioned now 6 years already with us. They've got 2 kids, ages?
12 and 10.
12 names?
Dewald and Anya.
Dewald and Anya, 12 and 10. Did you do homeschooling during lockdown?
Yes.
How was it?
It was rough, but it was okay. They're in a nice routine now.
So they get going, or your kids won't go back yet, they're not grade 7 or?
No,
Okay.
no, not yet.
All right, okay. Dewald, you worked right through lockdown.
Right through lockdown.
You managed 2 service stations.
2 petrol stations, yeah.
And how was it for you?
A bit of an adjustment.
Yeah.
April was a rough month, but it's bouncing back now, so...
Yeah. Yeah. And your staff, how did they handle the whole COVID thing and sanitizing and masks and...
Yeah, we just took it head on and took the approach head on, got everything right. Strict rules, sanitizing, masks, everything, and the guys are playing their parts, and yeah, it seems to be fine. We don't have any cases, thank God for that.
Yeah.
And we'll just continue doing what's right.
That's right. Well, that's great. Excellent. So, get to know you guys a little bit better. You guys are originally from?
Originally from Joburg.
From Joburg. Yeah, that's right. You were in Joburg, and then Joburg, Cape Town?
Mm-hmm.
Cape Town, PE? And your whole life you've been involved in business, Dewald?
Yeah, I've been in business. I've got a promotions company as well. Corporate clothing, corporate gifts. I'm actually a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So whatever needs to be done,
we can do it.
We can do it. Yeah, we moved to Cape Town in 2002. We got married in 2003.
Okay.
We've been married for 17 years now.
17 years?
Yeah.
17 years.
Yeah.
And not many people know you're a PK?
Yep, I'm a pastor's kid.
Pastor's kid? You and your booty?
Yeah, I'm
grew up. How old were you guys when Dad got saved?
I was 15.
Oh, you were outside. Was your dad came to the Lord quite late in your?
Yeah, in 1991 he came.
1990. You were 15 and Andre was?
17.
17. All right, and an adjustment for you guys? Great.
Well, yeah, for me, I followed my dad.
Yeah.
From day one.
Yeah.
So we've been walking the journey at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been in ministry, the worship ministry, personally since I was 16.
16 years old. Okay.
So.
A long time.
I'm not going to
And
give my no, it's a couple of years.
But now tell me something quickly. You're quite a big guy.
Yeah.
Now, what made you gravitate? Is piano your favorite instrument?
Well, let me tell you the story about piano.
Tell me the story. Yeah.
Okay, so when I was 13, my dad grew up in an orphanage, and his duties was to clean the instruments of the Salvation Army.
Oh, okay.
So he would clean the trombones and trumpets and the piano and stuff like that, and he taught himself to play. So he could play basically any instrument.
Okay.
And at 13, he called me and said, "Do you need to play piano?" I said, "I will not play piano.
Yeah.
I'm a rugby player.
Correct.
I'm not going to play. That's for girls."
Yeah, yeah.
And he actually gave me a backhand.
Yeah.
He said, "You will play."
Yeah.
And I started playing, and I fell in love with music. And I practiced day in, day out. And little to know that at 16, there would be room made for me.
Yeah.
In worship.
And were you at a church at that time, at the beginning time?
At 16, yeah, we were at a church in Johannesburg, and we joined the worship team. And funny story, my dad is a performer.
Yeah.
Okay, he can play any instrument, he can sing, and was a young worship leader. I'll never forget, his name was Wayne Wilson. He said, "Okay, you guys join the worship team." Okay, great, cool, come in. What do you do? My dad says, "Well, give me a microphone. You guys, you need to give me a microphone."
Yeah.
And the guy said, "Here's 2 sticks for you."
Yeah.
Gave him 2 sticks to play percussion. And for 6 months, my dad had to play percussion.
Okay.
From being the life of the party,
Yeah.
playing percussion. And he said to me, and you? I said, I'll play a little bit of piano. I said, okay. He said, okay, Sunday you play piano in church. Well, baby grand piano on a massive stage.
16 years old.
16 years old. My dad is like playing with 2 sticks.
And he's
He
the
said he
potato.
taught this little snorkel
Yeah.
how to play piano. And now he's in here. And God made a way.
Correct.
And I've been very fortunate to lead worship in a lot of big places with a lot of well-known people. And that's my passion.
And one of the guys you met was Nick.
Nick Vujicic,
Yeah.
guy on the arms, no legs.
Yeah.
We spent a week and a half together in Cape Town. We ministered through Cape Town. And that was an experience of note.
Yeah.
Life-changing.
I can imagine.
Experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. And Maritza, you guys met in Joburg?
Yes.
So how old are you when you guys met? Don't give away your age.
Young.
Young. And how did you guys meet? You can tell us the story.
It was through family. He was friends with my cousin, but it was actually also through church. My auntie went to their church.
Okay.
And this one Sunday she said to us, I went to go sleep, obviously, with my cousin. And then my cousin said to us, well, we're going to church in the morning. Now, my parents is old apostolic.
Okay,
yeah, going from that to their church was quite a big change. And as I walked in the church, he was also playing piano, and it was just from there we clicked and yeah.
Jesus, and that's been, like you say, more than 17 years now.
Yeah.
You're married and
But a very, very interesting fact. In my dad's early days, my dad's, what we'd say, BC days,
yes.
my dad used to drink a lot.
Mm.
And one of my dad's drinking partners was Maritza's dad.
Oh, so that's how you BFFs?
No.
Oh, didn't know.
Was Maritza's dad.
They just
And
used to
They used to go together.
Yeah.
And years on, we get married.
Crazy. Eh?
Very crazy.
It's amazing how God just lines up certain stuff. As
Yeah.
like, you know, that's why I think we did Stephen last week, and he joked and he said he doesn't believe like in the BC days because, you know, God has a plan in all of our lives.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think when we sit back sometimes, we actually just look at our lives, because I think we get so focused on the future and money and cars and houses that we actually forget the incredible stuff that God has already done in our lives. I know Shantelle and myself, you guys know us, every 6 months we evaluate our marriage. So every 6 months we sit down and we go, right, where are we? You know, we have a date night, we do the whole thing. So where's our communication? We had one of those nights on Saturday night now again. You know, we just had just a time where we just had a bracha and we chatted and we spoke about things and where are we? And I think those things are important to get out of the way at times, because I think a lot of times we get so busy. But it's those times where I find when I sit back and I look how Shantelle and myself met, how God almost orchestrated the whole thing in our lives to get the two of us together. And even in your lives, it's like He almost moved heaven and earth. I mean, what are the odds? What are the odds that you two would end up together in the greater scheme of things? Almost impossible.
Yeah.
And yet God somehow makes things and aligns things and brings things into place. You growing up, I mean, you're a grown woman, but I mean, with the kids in that, what has you just been a mom, or you work as
I
well?
was one of the lucky ladies that could be at home
Yeah.
since, well, pretty much I met Gerald. And then, we traveled quite a lot, and then we decided, well, we did everything that we wanted to do, then we said, well, let's start for a family. And that was a roller coaster on its own, because, it was hectic, but eventually after a long time, had baby number one, and then with a
Oh,
baby.
did you guys actually struggle to have?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
That's
Gerald Jr. is already a miracle.
Yes.
Really,
Let
eh?
me give you that
Yeah.
breakdown of that miracle.
Yeah.
So, Maritza and I tried to have a baby. It didn't happen. We went for advice at doctors. We went for fertility treatment.
Okay.
We had IVF.
Really?
We had
Okay.
IVF done 5 times,
My goodness.
5 or 6 times.
A lot.
A lot. Well, let me just say, the medical bill to have that little one was $500,000 rand.
Wow.
Yeah.
And none of it worked.
None of it worked.
That's the thing, none of it worked. And the one day we decided, we said, that's it. we need to stop stressing about this. I phoned the doctor, said, listen here, we're going to give this one more go. And they booked Maritza in for what you call a hysteroscopy and a laparoscopy. I can actually qualify as a gynecologist.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can hear you.
With all the stuff.
Yeah.
And that's basically a flushing of the tubes.
Yeah.
And Maritza went in on the Thursday. She went in for this procedure. On the Friday morning, I took her away to Saldanha Bay for the weekend. We went quad bike riding in the bush, on the beach. We had a great adventurous weekend. Got back, and a week later we were at the shopping mall. Maritza went in, I was having my hair cut. She walked around, and little did I know she went to go buy some pregnancy tests.
Goodness gracious.
And she took 3 in the shopping mall while I was having my hair cut, just to make sure. And she came to me and said, I said, what are you smiling about? What's going on? And she said, well, look at this. So I took her to the pharmacy, as I bought another one, I bought her 5 bottles of water to drink. Well, I'm waiting, checked again, and it said positive. So I phoned the doctor, the fertility specialist.
And this is all natural now?
All natural.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I phoned this fertility specialist, he says, I don't understand this. He says, no, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Because you went for this procedure a week ago,
Yeah.
there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And little did I know that in the procedure, she was pregnant.
Goodness gracious.
And the flushing pushed him into the womb. That's what I'm seeing.
But God.
But God.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
And we went to the doctor the next day and he said, listen, I have to do a scan because there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
And he put that scan on and he just saw this heartbeat
Goodness gracious.
going. And there's the miracle baby.
Absolutely.
And I mean, that little boy he's got a pastor's heart.
Yeah, and I watch him on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watch him on YouTube every day.
Shares a verse every single day.
Does his prayer every day. And wow, I didn't know that about you guys. You guys have been there 6 years. I didn't realize that.
That was a roller coaster.
Because so many people journey this today.
Yeah.
I mean, we journey with Jess and Don. You know, they said, Jess, you got this, and you're probably never going to have kids. And next minute, you know, she just, there it is. A miracle, 1 weekend away, and God sorts out stuff. And you wonder.
But it's like I said to somebody else that also struggling, that when I used to get so angry when somebody says it's not your time but it's God's time.
Yeah.
Because I didn't understand. I wanted something so badly and I wasn't allowed to have it yet.
Correct.
And I said to him the other day, in Cape Town our lives was very busy.
Yeah.
And we always had people by our house, we always looked after someone, or somebody's kids was, we were just so busy.
Yes.
And I said to him the other day, it actually makes sense at that time that we wouldn't have coped if I had to have a baby at that time.
Correct.
And I said to him, by the time we moved here with Diabel, we had nothing.
Yeah.
And we had to start everything over with this. So it was like a whole fresh new start for the 3 of us.
Coming back to be.
Yeah.
What made you come back to be? Did you? Well, God spoke to you. You
No.
started business and that.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
So I had a very successful business in Cape Town, and Maritza and I ran a church in Cape Town. My dad founded the church, and then my dad was transferred to Port Elizabeth in 2004.
Yeah.
So we took over the church in Cape Town, and the day my dad left, 80% of the church left.
Which is normally the case. Yeah.
Normally the case, because a lot of people, and I'm calling it as is, follow pastor.
Correct.
Follow man, then follow God. And I said, you know what, we're going to take this on. And there was a handful of people, and we rented a building. And I said, no, wait, we're not going to do this anymore. I went to an old age home, and I said, listen, you know, can we use your corner on Sunday morning? No problem. So our church went from, I think, about
40, we were 4.
from
We left with
we
4.
were 4 people to the next service of 104. Because it was 100 old people.
Good.
That we used to go and fetch in the wheelchairs,
Yeah.
bring them to, and that was the ministry.
Yeah.
But in 2008, the global financial crisis hit,
That's right.
and my business hit also.
Yeah.
And we had to make a decision, and we moved to Port Elizabeth because my parents are here.
Yeah.
And from having everything,
Yeah.
we had to like scale down totally, and we came to Port Elizabeth with nothing. Alright? Moved into my mum and dad's flat in their
Backyard?
in their back
Yeah.
in their yard, and we were there for 3 months. And in these 3 months, God just has a great sense of humour.
Yes.
That Maritza falls pregnant with Anya.
Okay.
So from having everything
And battling for a child, to having a child.
to having a child and then
Nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 3 months, we made a decision, listen, let's make or break, let's move. And I started my business up again in Port Elizabeth, and God has been faithful
Yes.
ever since. And then obviously I got an opportunity in 2010 in the fuel industry, and we've got 2 service stations now that I run. And God is good.
Yeah. So you guys have quite a journey. I love sitting like this and speaking to people, because remember I said last week, Chantelle's always got that saying that the tallest tree gets the most wind. And sometimes when you sit down and you speak to couples and you understand their journey, you understand them a little bit better.
Mm.
You know, it's a lot of times people take a lot of people on face value. You know, it's like, oh, well, this is Dewald, and oh, you know, this is them, oh, this is Marissa, oh, well, he seems grumpy, oh, he seems friendly, oh, he seems, people do, they grab us on face value.
Yeah.
But people never really, and I think this is the thing that bugs me probably the most in church life, is that we don't take that time to genuinely get to know each other.
Yeah.
It's so quickly just to pass by. It's so quickly to say, hey Dewald, how are you? Hey Maritza, how are you? How are things going? Is everything okay? But at the end of the day, not many people understand your journey, understand what it is that you've journeyed through, what you've got through, the price that you paid. Because whenever there's an anointing on a person's life, there's a price that's got to be paid, or a price that has been paid often.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stop here. You know, the more we get into the things of God, the more the church grows, even with Oasis. I mean, I think when you joined us, we were probably 200-300 people. We're probably over 1,000 people now. And with that, the challenges grow, because not just the challenges that grow, it's the team grows.
Yeah.
And as those of you who don't know, Dewald heads up our worship team as well, our music team, and he leads worship for us every single week. And that team has been phenomenal, the way they pulled together.
Incredible.
And they were also almost a brand new team.
Yeah.
When you took over, youngsters that came into that team.
Yeah.
You as well, I said to Stephen last week, but you do well. You love mentoring. You love, especially young musicians.
Young musicians, the guys can fit into their full potential.
Yeah.
You know, the guys have joined the team being very scared, and I have a certain style.
Yeah.
That listen, you've got to put the time in.
Yeah.
And you've got to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw you in the deep end.
Yeah.
But I'm there to help you.
Yeah.
I've got a life jacket, and I'll be able to help you out.
Correct.
And the guys have been phenomenal.
They have been phenomenal. Yeah.
But the focus on, and what I've taught the worship team is that we are not playing a concert.
Yeah.
We have an audience of 1.
Yeah.
And those who'd like to join us for the journey are welcome.
Yeah.
And I mean that's been our motto.
Yeah.
At the worship team, and I mean doors open.
But even the worship team, they've been through the ups and downs individually.
Absolutely.
They've faced real challenges and some
Big
real
time.
hard stuff and challenging stuff at the end of the day. But they get through it.
But they say, if the mountain was smooth,
Yeah.
we'd never be able to climb it.
Correct.
So that's why we've got these ups and downs, so we can climb up.
Correct.
And we can get to the top. And
And you've been part of the steering team now for about 2 years now?
it's been that long.
Yeah, that long already. Yeah. It's been that long you've been part of the steering team, and we said the other days, we never as leaders thought that we would be making the decisions we are right now, how concerned we are about people right now, what is the way forward, what is God saying to us right now. It's been a very interesting season for us as leaders.
Very.
And we've had to really dig deep.
Yeah, and listen, the steering team is not a bunch of yes men.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
That's the thing. I mean, it's guys that have done the time, and we need to make decisions. First of all, that glorify God.
Yeah.
And in the best interest of the body.
Yeah.
And it's not an easy task.
No, it's not.
But it's worth it.
Yeah. Relationships. You and I don't mind being on a stage or in front of a crowd or in the middle of a crowd. Our wives both seem to just leave me alone, and they're in like a silent ninja in the background.
They are social distancing kings and queens.
They love social distancing. If we had to leave it up to them, they will social distance their lives. But it's important to have that kind of woman behind us.
Absolutely.
Because you cannot have, you can. But I just find it's easier for us, especially with us having to be in the public light, with us having to be on stage, with us having to, do what we have to do. it's actually refreshing for us to come back to our wives that are very calm. Look, they got their nugget, don't make a mistake.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know, calm.
dynamite comes in small packages, we understand that. But it is calming for us to come off the stage, or to come off the ministry, and just to come to something that just is quiet and peaceful and just gets us. I think if we had like personalities, it would be chaos coming out, both screaming, both shouting, do what you have to do. And I want to compliment you on this, because I know you've journeyed a long road. And I know you guys have been in church, I know you guys have been pastors' kids, I know you guys have run a church, so that tells me that there's already scars and bookmarks on your backs, and anyone that has built church for longer than 6 months has got a story already, and it's been tough. And we can be honest, we could have walked away from this church saying 500 times already.
Oh, yeah.
The devil has given us, the devil and people have given us every reason not to do what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet, in the same breath, God has given us every reason to do what we do.
Yeah.
And so, I want to honor you guys. I really do. You and Shantelle and all the little wives that play that quiet role in the background, that take our nonsense and take our ranting and our raving and our good days and our bad days, because I think we need people like that. And I think we don't understand, or people don't understand, often we can do what we do because we've got you guys at home.
And also, I think because like we understand each other. He knows. Although I'm not always at church, I'm there. I support him in what he does, and so he supports me.
Yeah.
And we just understand each other that way.
Don't need a stage.
So we've come to that decision actually a long time ago to say with church. It's like it is what it is.
It is what it is.
We've made it to 19 years doing what we do. We've got where we are.
And it's working.
Yeah. So,
and I think sometimes there's quite an expectation on the wives there, in a sense of, I know even like Shantelle, being the pastor's wife, there's an expectation, like a worship leader's wife, there's an expectation, you're going to be out there, you're going to be bubbly, and you're going to greet everyone, there is this expectation. And sometimes people struggle when they've got this quiet wife that just says to us, hey, doesn't matter what you do, I've got your back.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you go through, I'm going to be there. And I know a lot of times you guys have probably taken most of the beating in what we've journeyed, because I think sometimes us men, we're a little bit thick-skinned, and sometimes, what people say and the hurtful things that people say to us, we tend to let it run off our backs, but our wives take it personally. And the kids take it personally, and that's a journey that you guys have journeyed as well. And you've come through it. I remember you walking there 6 years ago, and I'm not even horrible, but you weren't even sure if you wanted to do church again. Remember? It's like, I don't know if you're going to drag me to church again, devil. And I've just, over the last 6 years, seen both of you, but especially you, have just flourished and come to your own, and come to your own person, and found your own space, and become comfortable in that. So, we honour you. We honour, last week we focused as well, the same thing, it's good to have wives that are there for us and support us. But it's been great to be able to speak to you guys, know a little bit more about you guys, and so, if I was you guys, I'd just be laying hands on everybody that's been pregnant right now. You've got $500,000 certificate to prove that this thing can be done naturally. But the devil, thank you, honour you. I know you put a lot of time, a lot of effort into church life, steering team, worship team, making sure that everything's set up and that, and the guys miss you, the guys love you. And I think we all can't wait just to get back to normal worship again, where we can just do what God calls us to do.
Absolutely.
God bless you guys, and thank you, and love to the kids, and we'll chat soon.
Absolutely.
All right, enjoy your evening, and love you guys, and be safe.